Well, it's that time of year again where unfortunately we're going to have to add to your backlogs with a massive 21st anniversary sale from a publisher who has supported the channel since the start, Qubic Games. Now, they've got some cracking games on sale here. It looks like a collaboration between them and maybe another publisher or two, Tate Multimedia and Untold Tales, up to 99% on over 150 games. We're not going to cover all of those. We'll just go over some top picks.
As is generally the case with Qubic Games sales, the discounts are tied to owning some of their previous games from their back catalogue. This applies to all games on sale in the US and some games in other regions, but one of the games that you can own is called Colouring Book and is actually free to download, meaning that if you do obviously download that, you become eligible for the sales. You can see the Nintendo eShop for a full list of the games discounted, or check out their website qubicgames.com/21 for more information.
There's also a big contest and other giveaways going on as part of this, but there are like some decent prizes, physical gifts as well up for grabs, including game accessories, physical game editions, digital keys from Qubic Games, Tate Multimedia and Untold Tales. The sale runs from February the 7th to February the 28th. As we say, go check out the eShop or their website if you want more details. All right, what games are on sale then? Well, let's find out. All right, let's start off then with Kao the Kangaroo. This was originally a release back on one of the retro platforms now, because I saw it pop up when I was making a video the other day. But this is a 3D modern version of the series.
Yeah, you play as Kao, a kangaroo with some boxing skills, and you'll make your way across a number of different levels, themed levels, very reminiscent of the classic 3D platformers, as Mark said. Obviously its roots are in there anyway, and definitely a decent game to play, certainly at this discounted price. In the North American regions, again, it's down to just under $2, $1.90.
It's absolutely a ridiculous price. This one's usually over $20 if you're buying it out of sale, and it's very nice actually, well worth that price. Next up, we've got Star Trek Legends, which recently came out. I think it was just before Christmas. Now, I haven't actually played this one, but I did see a little video over on Twitter from one of our subscribers, and it looks like you basically take on the role of either one of the heroes from the series or the villains, and you're trying to control what's known as the Nexus. Combat's almost a side perspective, looks a little bit more like an RPG, but you take control as well of the USS Artemis. You get to choose your crew. I don't think there is space combat, which I think this person mentioned, but if you're a fan of Star Trek, then Star Trek Legends at just $1.90 might be a decent little pickup. The next one is Bee Simulator, that has been completed by you and also my kids.
Yeah, I played this one when I used to take my daughter swimming and I was sitting there waiting for her to finish her lessons. This was the game I used to kind of chip away at. And it's a decent little game. It's quite unique, hence the reason I picked it up. I got the physical edition. And you have to find like a new hive. You're like a worker bee. You'll have battles against other insects, which are like button prompt based or rhythm based. There are sections where you're racing and you have to fly through rings and what have you. Yeah, just a very unique premise and a character to play as. It's not the norm, and again at this price, $1.49, £1.74 or €1.99, yeah, definitely worth a pickup.
The first new release is a game called Stacky Dash. It's like a puzzle arcade game where you're making your way around a course, gradually stacking up tiles to reach the end in a specific time. It looks like a classic arcade style experience, very pick up and play. That one is just 49 cents with the owner's discount, 89 pence or 99 cents.
The other new release is Skyline Bowling. You can join friends or family in up to 4-player matches, using motion controls should you wish, and there are a bunch of different tournaments that you can enter, and you can customise your character as well.
Yeah, it's not just bowling balls as well. You'll be bowling pucks down there. You're trying to dodge boxes and things. I think as a party game, bowling's one of those things that is very fun.
I mean, the Wii sold 6 billion consoles off the back of it, really, didn't it?
That's a factual number.
It is definitely right. I checked it before we started.
This one, is it 49 cents like the previous?
It is indeed 89p or 99 European cents. It gets me every time.
Everdream Valley is a cracking little farming simulator game that's had a bunch of updates since it came out. I actually put this in my normal sales video a couple of weeks ago, But there's a ton of content in here. The thing with this one is, although you're doing your usual farming bits and bobs, it has these little mini games, like you're milking a cow at one point, and it just looks so wrong. Now this one is on sale by the looks of it in all regions, but it has its biggest discount in the US. It's $6.99, $7.64 in the UK, and $8.49 in Europe.
Next then we have Urban Trial Playground. There's also Urban Trial Tricky, very similar games. Very much like the Trial series that was back on, was it Xbox 360, I seem to remember. Very popular games where you're having to get across almost like an obstacle course on a bike, doing tricks to increase your score, try not to face plant, that sort of thing. Yeah, these are decent games. I played one of these for review many years ago now, I believe it was Playground, and they are currently down to just 19 US cents each, which is crazy. Or again, a bit more in other regions, you're looking at 89p or 99 European cents.
I was really pleased to see Leo's Fortune arrive a few months back. I wasn't expecting that at all. It was like a side perspective platform adventure game featuring this weird little creature, but it looks great. It's down to a price that I haven't even seen it get close to at the moment. This is on sale in all regions, but it has very nice handcrafted levels and physics-based puzzles, but also maybe a little less expected is quite a detailed storyline. Now, as I say, this was very much loved on other platforms. It's just £1.70, €1.90 or $1.90.
We then have Ready, Steady, Ship, which is similar, I guess, to games such as Overcooked, in that you have to team up and try to keep something moving in a world that's complete chaos. And in this case, it's building conveyor belts to try and keep the goods flowing out of a factory. As you go on, the factories will get stranger, new mechanics added that you'll need to try and overcome, and it does lend itself more to multiplayer, albeit you can play it in single player too. Another one that's part of the owner's discount in the US, down to $1.99, a bit more expensive elsewhere at £3.64 or €3.99.
Then we've got Masterchef, Learn to Cook, where you'll be using motion controls and a variety of ingredients to make more than 120 different recipes. It has little mini games to do that. You also have to create an avatar, customize its features, and upgrade your cooking gear to become the Master Chef. This one is £1.70, €1.90 or $1.90. Arise, A Simple Story, the definitive edition, was actually in my sales video on Sunday. This is a cracking game, a very emotive storyline. I won't spoil it, but it deals with issues of loss, and yeah, it is very emotive. It's got great soundtrack as well. It also features two-player co-op to help you solve the various puzzles together. And yeah, it's $1.49 at the moment. That's a crazy price. In the UK, it's slightly higher at $2.51, and in Europe, $2.79.
Okay, we then have Tools Up, which is quite similar to the game I mentioned a moment ago, Ready, Steady, Ship, in that it has some Overcooked vibes to it. This time you are playing as renovation teams in a number of different houses, and obviously they have crazy designs and obstacles for you to overcome, but you'll need to paint and decorate each room, move furniture out, move furniture in. You get the idea, all against the clock. And again, you can play it multiplayer with 1 to 4 players available.
Yeah, we played through that one in co-op for a sponsored video, actually, I believe, for Untold Tales.
We did.
Good
yeah.
game. It had a nice DLC as well. That one's just 99 cents, slightly higher in the UK again at $1.79 and $1.99 in Europe. Metamorphosis is up next, and this is basically Die Verwandlung. So it's from a guy called Kafka, who wrote a novel basically entitled Metamorphosis in German, which is Die Verwandlung. I'm not just saying random sounds. And it's really nice. You play as a fella who basically gets shrunk down to the size of a bug, but then he overhears conversations that threaten his very existence and has to make his way through an almost Alice in, it's more like a Grimm's fairy tale really, where you're a tiny creature, you visit like inhabitants of other creatures. Really nice, plays out a bit like a platform adventure, which you wouldn't expect. It's just 99 cents, and again a little more in the UK at $1.34 and $1.49 in Europe. Bargain.
Bang on Balls Chronicles is another game that we have covered before. This was a 3D platformer centered around the idea of film studios, and you make your way into a number of different levels that are themed around locations where a movie is being filmed. So at one point you're on a beach and there's like a pirate theme, that sort of thing, and there's a hub world that's almost like a movie premiere.
Yeah, I'm just pleased that you're using the word movie and just doing an Americanism there, Glenn. Have you noticed? That's upsetting.
Film premiere. There we go.
The stars just realigned.
All is right with the world again.
Wow. Yeah, fun game though, and at these prices, not bad at all. It's just $6.99, £7.64, or €8.49.
Next is Eyes, the horror game. This sees you trying to discover the secrets of a number of different locations, an abandoned homestead, a haunted hospital, and a possessed school, collecting hidden notes to discover the mystery behind each of these levels. There's a stealth element to it where you'll need to hide from threats or you can run away, and you'll need to use the titular eye to try and survive. The price of this one in the US particularly is crazy cheap. It's down to just 9 cents. Again, a bit more expensive elsewhere at 89p or 99 European cents. Then we have the Hong Kong Massacre. This is a top-down shooter, very similar to something like Hotline Miami, where you'll be bursting into rooms and trying to take out a number of different enemies. If you're shot, you need to start the stage again. Very difficult, but very addictive as you obviously go on a run and get into a loop almost of thinking about the floor plan and your best route through. Another one that's very cheap at the minute, 49 cents, £1.79 or €1.99.
After that, you've got W.A.N.D project, W-A.N.D project. It does have a meaning, I forget what it is. But this is a roguelike, very addictive game that has a nice mechanic whereby rather than simply get a new wand, it's got a modular spell system. So you slot different components together to create a more powerful build and then move through the stages like that. Decent game actually. We've got a full video of this one, I think, as well.
We have, yeah.
It's just $3.99. £4.94 or €5.49. Blazing Beaks is the next one up. This is a top-down roguelite, making your way through floors, a slightly different system where if you're playing in co-op, well, or even if you're not playing on your own, you get power-ups that have a negative trait, and then when you get to the shop, you have to sell those to get the positive one. It does also feature 4-player competitive play, so just basically attacking each other. But yeah, solid, nice little visual as well. That's just 19 cents, 94 pence, or 99 cents in Europe. Golf Club Nostalgia was the renamed game that used to be Golf Club Wasteland. And they've actually got 3 games. It's like a trilogy now. They're all tied together. We reviewed a game called The Cub on the channel that's from the same universe. But Nostalgia introduced those Martians coming down and having a round of golf. A good game actually, and it manages to tell a story while still having that narration radio playing in the background that adds quite a bit to it. It's just 99 cents at the moment, £1.79 or €1.99.
And finally then we have Little Racer. This is a top-down racing game similar to something like Super Sprint from way back in the day. Super off-road perhaps, that sort of thing. There are 130 levels across 10 worlds. You can create your own tracks in a level editor, and you can play with up to 4 players in local co-op and unlock new cars along the way. Yeah,
that one's just 19 cents, £1.34 or €1.49. As we said at the start of this video, all the prices were on the screen, and there's a website link as well so you can go check out more details or check out the eShop.
Thank you once again to Qubic Games and their partners, Tate Multimedia and Untold Tales, for sponsoring this video. As Mark said, full details on the website QubicGames.com/21. Thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.